Welcome, welcome. How is everybody doing? Welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing right now? Hope everybody's doing well tonight. We have a lot to talk about here. It's very, very cold. We have temperatures to take a look at. We got snowfall. We got snowfall maps. We got all of it here. We're going to be live for the next couple hours. We have a lot to take place in here. We have a lot of weather to do. I know we are working with a lot of other weather people right now on YouTube. I'm just going to be adding on to it. I hope everybody's doing great and having a great and wonderful night. I am really going to be working hard tonight around the corner here for this channel. I hope you guys are doing great. We are going to be rocking and rolling. And forecast. So, all right, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. We are rocking and rolling here. We have a lot to talk about. So this is, I just want to actually start it up here. We're going to be taking a look at the forecast here. This is our storm making into Mexico right now. This is going to continue. This is the back end of this winter storm here. Really have picked up a lot of moisture, believe it or not. It has picked up a lot of moisture from the East Pacific here. You can really tell by these streamer clouds right here and how this has really just been wrapping around this beginning of a winter storm that is really going to be taking under place. So, if you guys are new to the channel, please like, please subscribe. We are trying to get up to 20 likes. Let's make a goal of 10 likes first. First goal, 10 likes. Alright, so that's our first goal. Let's get it rocking and rolling here. If you have any questions, feel free to join and answer. I'm going to be really trying to rock and roll in this one. So that's the beginning of the winter storm. And then we can also see we have another bit of an energy here of a low pressure now developing right around here in the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, whatever you want to call it. This is also streaming in a lot of Gulf moisture right into the southern parts of the United States. And this is really another big thing here is an Arctic air mass that has really set itself in here across the United States. This has been just funneling very cold air and very cold Arctic air. And when I mean Arctic air, we're talking about temperatures below zero in the daytime highs and nights. Single digits throughout the day, and at night, very, very cold, below 10 degrees even in some spots. And this is competing with a really just extension of an Arctic air mass. You can just tell because look at this, you guys. You even got, I mean, look at this boundary front that has just set up here. This is really just setting up the phases of moisture and cold and meeting at each other. And we are really dealing with some ice issues now across the Texas area. We have been having a major accumulation. I am expecting that to continue and progress to being worse. Power outages, I do think it's going to enter of being worse. Snowing like crazy to the northern side of this. We're going to continue to keep an eye on this, but that's your satellite imagery. So now I want to take a little bit of a look here. So I want to take this out. I want to take a little bit of a look at the weather channel, the radar. I'm going to show you guys the radar, show you guys what is happening and where's your really forecast going to be. So it's been just absolutely right out cold temperatures. Do not worry about that. So your front end actually snow is now in Ohio beginning. If you guys are in Ohio, West Virginia, Richmond, this is your leading sign. Out ahead of this, probably just some very dry air. It's not reaching the ground yet, but some of these heavier totals here, this is going to continue to fill in throughout tonight, and this winter storm is going to really start to look even better organized as we continue through the nighttime hours. So, before we even get started, let me just quickly get just rock and rolling here. We already got one like. let's keep going with the likes. If you guys are in here, the more likes, the more people that get seen by the YouTube algorithm, and then the more questions, and the more I stay live longer. So we have just a lot to take place here of this winter storm on the radar. We're going to have live radar coverage, and if you guys are in this winter storm, I mean, look at the extension of the developing. I mean, yes, you guys might be like, oh, Justin, there's a lot of dry slot here. Believe it or not, this has been filling in the last couple hours significantly. And this is going to continue to develop. You can already see your snow shields all the way back in New Mexico, into northern Texas, Oklahoma, into even Chicago and Ohio right here, and even into almost Raleigh. This is your snow shield right here. This is a very big snow shield. You're talking about very heavy snowfall. And some of these rates here are probably 1 to 2 inches an hour. Even some spots up to 3 inches an hour. We're going to have to really keep an eye on it as we're going to continue to progress with this winter storm. So, if you guys are new, please like, please subscribe. We're going to be live here for the next couple hours. We're going to be working hard around the clock, getting things all situated. Hey, Triggered Z3M, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. Hey, Justin, nice to see you. Thank you, Red Vela, with the $10 donation. Thank you very much. Love it. We are going to be live here for the next couple hours. What's up? Big live stream. Get everyone. All right, so I thank you. I really appreciate for the coverage. It's greatly appreciated. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your $10 donation. Really greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for everybody. If you guys are all here, please like and subscribe. I'm currently just covering the radar in that no problem. So I really greatly appreciate it. We already got a $10 donation in the last 7 minutes. If you are here, we're going to be taking a look at some model data, the 0Z model data. We're going to be taking a look at the radar, seeing how things are really setting up. So, believe it or not, when we took it back into Texas here, we're going to go from Texas. I'm good, ready for the storm. As much as I can be. Be safe, everyone. Be safe. All right. So, if you're looking at this, you guys, back in the Texas, Armanado, some of these spots where you're seeing these darker blues, these are out to 2 to 3 inches an hour. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. We're looking back in Oklahoma. Yes, you might be like, Justin, there's a lot of dry, but look at this at a few hours ago, right? And look how much less of an impact was there. And now let's look at it now. There's a lot more snow filling in when we take a look at the radar. This is going to continue in the next coming hours. And this is by 7 o'clock tonight when it wants to load. We continue that snow coverage continue to take place. This is by 8 o'clock. This storm continues. So in the next coming hours, we're going to see significant heavy snow really starting up, and the ice also. To the north, 1 to 3 inches an hour. This is by 10 o'clock. This storm continues to get better and better organized. This is by 11 o'clock. Very, very heavy snow. Starting to make it into Washington, D.C. And then this is by 12 o'clock. This storm continues to gain its strength. And this is by about 12:33, getting closer and closer to the northeast. I do expect this to continue to worsen in many spots. So, all right. We have a lot of Twitter to take a look at. Also, we got some radar data, UK Met model. We got some interesting information. So plows out here doing work on I-80 eastbound Nashville into Tennessee. Look at this, you guys. The plows are doing its work. So thank you for the plows there. And then, okay, we have a lot of these areas. So we are going to start taking a look at the NAM model. The her and the NAM and the wrap. So this is the latest wrap model. Actually, I've not taken a look at this at all. So there's going to be some very greatly information here that we're about to take a look at. This, I haven't looked at this. And this is for the mid-Atlantic to northeast. We are expecting in the next 6 hours the accumulations to continue to wrap up and the storm to continue to intensify, some heavier rates. This is by now getting into about probably 12, 1 o'clock, even 2 o'clock in the morning. We're really dealing, the darker the blue, the heavier the blue, the darker the pink, more the freezing rain. And then we got our little sleet right here in between of all this. Sleet, we've been already having a lot of sleet accumulations up to almost 5 inches of sleet in spots. So some significant ice accumulations out of the sun, all standards. This is probably around the morning time, okay? I wish the College Weather DuPage had this for, like, this is probably around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tomorrow. Actually, probably more like 8 o'clock in the morning. And this is going to continue to worsen. Your winds are going to get worse. Your snow bands and your ice line. Look what happens here. This is going to be a complicated setup. We get our low to develop, right? You got your back here low too. So what's going on in this case scenario is you got cold air damming going all the way down into the mountains, right? And this is going to really feed off the mountains here. And this is going to go into the valleys, right? And you got, but you got at the same time, you got very cold air coming from the outside here. So you got a very cold Arctic air mass coming into here still, slamming right into the snow, right? And this is going to really be a good fluffy snow, I do believe. But take a look at this, you guys, as we are waiting on this. You're getting into some of the warmer air, too. You're bringing in that warmer air from the Atlantic Ocean and slamming it right into the Carolinas. And that's bringing a lot of precip. But the air is so cold that it's going to be raining, but it's going to be freezing rain, okay? Another little thing that might be helping here is this might keep that freezing rain line. Even though it's going to be that sleet line, this is all sleet right here, okay? All sleet into southern Pennsylvania, wintry mix, whatever you want to call it, and then your freezing rain right here. You can tell we get our nose pocket. You know why? Let me tell you this, why we get our nose pocket. So you got another low pressure down here that's actually bringing in some of this warmer air, and this low pressure is kind of helping to bring in that nose air of warm air in the mid levels and the low levels now. But it's a very complicated system. You're going to be having some gusty winds. You're going to have that onshore breeze. But in these hours, this ice line is probably in the mid levels going to struggle to get so far north, I do believe. But as you continue, this kind of turns into that freezing rain line gets pretty close on the wrap model. You can tell we start really seeing some freezing rain now in the southern Pennsylvania right here, making it. I mean, this is still a wintry mix, but on the latest wrap, keeps it pretty far south of the I-78 here, snowing like crazy, gusty winds. This is your low pressure now. You got a low pressure here. You got another one right back in here. So what this is doing is you got your cold air damming, but you got your warm air that's feeding into the Atlantic. So I think along Long Island's going to struggle. This is your latest wrap model. It never gets above I-78. And this model really keeps the freezing rain to the south. But wherever freezing rain is, it's going to be pretty heavy, okay? And then at the back end, maybe some freezing drizzle to close out the storm. And then some gusty winds and cold air. This is one model, okay? So, but the total snow accumulations out of this has been a significant rise. I mean, a pretty good rise here since the 15Z. This is pretty good. So the wrap model in this scenario across Northeast, you could see if I'm not arguing with this. This is definitely possible. You know, up to 15 solid inches, 12 to 15 inches, all the way up to the Poconos, Central New Jersey, New York City. I think this is a very big possibility also. Okay, back into southern Pennsylvania, and then down here more like that 8, 7 inches. When you get into New England, this number has gone up on some of the models now, showing up to almost 2 feet of snow. Even some spots in Massachusetts dealing with plus 24 inches. As the low continues to intensify, that back-end moisture, that can definitely happen here. Your freezing rain, though, you're talking about from the 21Z to 15Z, it has dropped a bit. So that means that ice line has dropped a little bit in the latest model data. I'm not surprised. And you're still talking about a glaze to a 1/10 of an inch. Down in the fill, you're still talking almost 2/10 of an inch of ice. I wish we had sleep, but we don't. When we take a look at the temperature department too on this system, it's going to be straight out frigid. So this is the beginning of the storm. Look at your temperatures. As it's beginning to snow, your temperatures are going to be in the single digits, below 5 degrees in northern Pennsylvania. Even some spots close to 0 degrees. Your feel-like temperatures are going to be below 0 degrees. So it's going to start out a very, very cold morning here. I mean, these temperatures are dropping significantly. So we have to keep an eye on that. So if you guys are just tuning in, please like. We are starting to gradually get some more viewers steadily. So let's keep that going here. We're going to be live for the next couple hours. We're going to be going strong. We are at 6 likes. So 4 more likes, you guys. 4 more likes. That will be the goal tonight. All right. 4 more likes. Like and share. All right. The more likes we get, the better the stream will be. The more people will join the stream. I do want to say thank you for the $10 donation. Really greatly appreciated. It will mean a lot. So, if you guys have any questions about your specific area, please let me know. We're right now taking a look at one model at a time, really taking it slow because we do not get our 0Zs starting into the next couple hours. So I'm going to be kind of going over the 18Z, and then we'll go over the 0Z with the latest data and the beginning of the development. As this storm continues, your temperatures will struggle in the morning to get above 5 degrees. It's going to be very, very cold. Your winds are going to start whipping. You're going to be talking about wind chills below 0. So it's going to be a really cold winter storm on this one. Closer to the coast, it starts warming up. You do start to warm up in the inland. You do get about 10 to 15 degrees, most likely. And then along the coast, you actually do warm up to 35 degrees. Down in the Philly, you start warming up to the mid-20s. New York City, you may go up to 20. Just in New Jersey, almost to the freezing mark. So you do expect, what does Long Island look like? I do think Long Island will be a wintry mess. I have actually lowered my totals for you guys. All right, let me show you guys my totals here. All right, I personally think with the latest data I am seeing, I might actually do this, you guys. I'm sorry. I am actually going to do one more update to the map here in the next minute here. So just give me 1 second. I'm actually going to push this even a little bit farther. I think if you are along Long Island now, I do think you're going to struggle to get to 10 to 15. I think you are going to be more talking about 6 to 10 in spots. Winter ain't playing this season. Yes, correct. So if I had to do a snowfall map here, fixing it up here, I would honestly put Long Island now in here. I think if you're in Long Island, I think you're now in that 6 to 10 inch. I think I will lower your totals with your snow forecast. I'm sorry. I see a lot more mixing thanks to what I was talking about earlier with the temperatures warming. I mean, look, you are talking about more mixing. where these temperatures are close to 32. You're talking about, the freezing line right next to 34 on the beach is 35. So I think you're going to be talking about more of a mix and freezing rain. And then your temperatures in some spots actually warm above 32 degrees. So very significant. Okay. Very significant data. But your temperatures stay around 20 degrees as your high. And then those temperatures starts to plummet. So your high temperature is most likely about 20 degrees with wind chills in the teens to single digits, even in the inland areas. So winter is not playing around for sure. Your mixed dew point, you're going to be talking about mostly dry snow, but I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to be talking about some very fluffy snow in the beginning of the system. Very dry dew points. But you do, you do start to talk about a little bit better, in the 30s. And you will become a little bit less than 10 ratios. I think you're going to become more of a wetter snow as the mixing line. But your wet bum tone is right here of your vorticity. Your relative humidity is going to be pretty good here. It's going to be pretty good amount of moisture before the end of this system here, okay? Yeah, I know it sucks along Long Island. You guys were hoping for more, but things have trended a little bit worse. Why does Long Island do not get that much? Look at the wrap. It's because you got the influence now of a low bringing in warmer air off the ocean and then wrapping it along the islands right here, even in New York, okay? Even into New Jersey. You will be talking about some gusty winds, though, on the onshore. So watch out for the freezing rain. It does come on to the New York, island there. So keep that in mind, okay? How's everybody doing this evening? We are doing steady on the stream. We are at 8 likes. 2 more likes. 2 more likes. 2 more likes for goal. All right. Very greatly appreciated. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to answer them, ask them below. This is one model. Now I'm going to take a look at another model, and that's the NAM model, okay? We do have 0Z data that's going to be coming out in the next few hours, but I'm going to show you guys the latest data here, okay? The latest data, I do think the snow will start around 2 to 3 in the morning, even 4 o'clock in the morning, I do believe, okay? I really do think that's going to be a picture perfect right there. Okay, just 1 second. Let me do this. Let's get into the live stream. I'm going to quickly do this right here. All right. So we're going to do that. And then this is the NAM model. The NAM model, good news, has come in a little bit colder on the latest data. So that's really good news if you are, some of the model data is coming out a little bit colder. So maybe that ice line will move back south before a last minute move back south moment. So keep that in mind. Okay. Very important stuff right there. Driving conditions are going to be suck. Yes. Driving conditions are going to not be pretty. Not at all. I'm going to be honest with you. Not great. So, yeah. All right. Let's keep this going. Your snowfall, it does start out, I would say, light and then quickly turn to moderate snow. And then you can already tell you getting your heavier snows. And that freezing rain line does, that sleet line does make it all the way up to Allentown. Your I-78 runs about here, you guys. Your I-78 is a little bit more south, and it really hugs I-78. But if you look at 12Z, it was even further north. 18Z relaxed a bit. So I do think the 0Z will relax even further. You're talking about some heavier snows. It still gets it up to past I-78. I think it's going to be more south. Because if you look at the last couple runs, it has, trended significantly back to the south. I think it's going to continue that. I think a lot of your her model is really toning in on where this is going to set up the most. Okay. I really appreciate everybody joining the channel here. This is awesome. If you guys are new to the channel, please like, please subscribe. We are at 12 likes. So new goal, 20 likes. 8 away. All right, 8 away. All right. So that's your sleet, that's your freezing wind, that's your wintry mix. We do see it to try and push back, and I think this is going to be a very important thing here. The way I see the setup is, once you get that coastal low to go a little bit stronger and bring in that colder air, I do think it's going to stop at I-78, in my opinion. Why? Because, look, you start to push back as the storm starts to, push away from the coast. This freezing rain line that goes up to here on the NAM, look how it starts to push back. I do think you might have a few hours of wintry mix, and then you transition back to snow. That's what I'm seeing on the latest model data. Do not count me on it. We'll have to wait for the 0Z. And then this does look like it tries to be some freezing rain, freezing drizzle towards the end, and then it ends with some snowflakes. Okay? And then look at that, some lake effect snow the day after with some windy conditions. So, not a pretty scene. Freezing rain on the NAM model compared to the 12Z has significantly gotten less and pushed back down to the south. How is Clinton, New Jersey looking? So, Clinton, New Jersey, it's a tough one. It's a really tough forecast. This model shows you with a thumping of snow. Your main thump of snow is looking to take place probably around the morning time to afternoon. This mixing will not happen until about 7 o'clock in the evening tomorrow. But this is the NAM model. It's a little warmer always. But according to the HER, you get even to some mixing. You might have some mixing hours here too. So maybe it's not just the NAM. I do think your main thump of snow in Clinton, New Jersey is going to take place probably right before the storm. This is even with the mixing, with the model that changes over to some freezing rain and sleet. In Clinton, New Jersey around here, you're still looking at 14 to 15 inches. Quote me either way, okay? More mixing, less snow, stays longer snow. We can be looking at closer to 16 plus inches. With the latest data, I'm saying it's tough. I would say anywhere from 10 to about 14 inches, locally 15, and then that transition into a wintry mix. And then you could be talking about 1/10 of an inch of ice to accumulate on the tree. So it's going to make your shoveling a lot worse. But could we see things last a little bit longer and we get these, 17, 18 inches to move a little bit more south? It all depends. When we take a look at the NAM, look at the less. Yes, it has, with the last run, it had a lot less, and it has come back down. I think this is going to continue. So, do not quote this model. This is the NAM, one of the aggressive models here. This is a bit aggressive. I do not think you're going to be talking about this much snow in the northern tier. I think this is a little overdone here on the model. Depends on the back end. But you can see that mixing. And then, it's a tough one. It's really a tough one. The wrap model also. And then you can tell here, this is another wrap model here. It gets that mixing. This is the 18Z. When we take a look at the 20Z, 21Z, it does actually, in Clinton, New Jersey, according to this model, it stays south of central New Jersey. And then it ends with some freezing rain. Okay? And then we do see some of the snowfall rates here. Your total accumulation, according to this model, you're talking about, 14 inches here. So your main thump of snow is going to take place probably 2 to 4 inches an hour in the morning. This is looking like to start about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're going to be talking about intense rates. And if that mixing does make it up to Clinton, New Jersey, the Lehigh Valley, New York, it's going to really compact that snow and make it into a wet snow. So now you're not just talking about fluffy snow. Now you're going to be looking more like digging out. We're also going to be talking about some gusty winds. And this wind is going to be blowing around. Temperatures are going to be really cold. Probably one of the coldest snowstorms in a very long time if you are working out in this. Like I said, your temperatures in Clinton, New Jersey, it looks to me that you get around 20 to 22 degrees, and then you could see higher. Continue south, would you say we could see higher totals along Long Island? Yes, I do believe if you are in Long Island, if trends go a little bit more south, we could see the totals go up just a little bit. But if trends go back to the north, we could see a little bit less, okay? It's a tough storm. We're going to have to do nowcasting throughout the nighttime hours. That's why I'm watching the 0Z model runs. That's why I'm going to be live for the next couple hours watching the trend. It's a very important thing because this is the radar, okay? This is the radar. This is refreshing right now, okay? Look at the radar. This is the current radar. This is the snowstorm, you guys. Look how much is filled in with Texas. Remember when we first started the stream and we were talking about not this much snow. Look how it's just filling in now. That freezing rain, rapid filling in. Okay, this is going to be very important as we continue throughout the night times. But look at these, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look at some of these bandings. Very heavy snow. So just wait as the precipitation continues to fill in. We're going to be talking about some very heavy totals and even already starting to snow back in here in West Virginia. That freezing rain also. And now when we take a look at 1255, look how this is starting to make it through Washington, D.C., Baltimore. Okay. And look at some of these very heavy snowfall rates and then your freezing rain disaster down in the south. Does not look pretty. So if you guys are new to the channel, we are going to be live for the next couple hours. Are you going to be watching all night to update us all? Yes. Not all night. The goal is probably up to 11 o'clock. Depends. It all depends. Depends. Alright, just all depends here. Dun, 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 dun. We have to see, okay? Alright. So this is the latest radar around 12:55 in the morning. And that just updated. So that looks very interesting. Now I want to take a look at some other stuff, okay? We've been talking about these mesoscale models. I think the NAM model is a little aggressive right now, to be honest with you. I really do. Your latest GFS model, let's see what it shows. These are global models. You don't want to just count on the global models around when you get to this point, okay? Let's look at this. Your GFS model says about... So, can I expect a foot of snow in Middlesex County? Will there be school closures? Yes. I do expect Monday in the wide region of no school across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, all of the Northeast. I expect pretty much nearly all schools to be closed, especially on Monday, with the temperatures that are going to be dramatically dropping in the morning on Monday. And then let me exactly look for this area here. So we're going to I'm going to quickly look at this exact area, and then I'm going to show you your exact area of how much snow in the Middlesex County of New Jersey could be. So you're talking about closer to the, okay, so you're talking about in this region here. So let me show you this right here. So you're talking about this little area right in here. Let's go into the HERD model. I like to use this model. It's a really good model here. We're going to take a quick look here. NAM aggressive in terms of north to south shift. Now, what the NAM model is probably the warmer model. It could be picking up on some of the warmer temperatures in the middle vectors of the atmosphere, but I can't promise we will see that, okay? So this is your area that you're talking about, Middlesex of New Jersey. This is the HERD model. You go into the morning time. This is probably around 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. But the HERD model does, you see how, it's not all the way up to here. It's because of your coastal low. You're having that influence of that water along the Atlantic coast pushing in some of this warmer air in the mid-levels. This is probably a wintry mix. You could be having some freezing rain, snow, back to sleet, back to snow. We'll have to just wait and see. This does happen probably around the evening time, okay? Probably like 5, 6 o'clock. And then you do see that continue, and then you see that level off a bit, and it does try to trend back to the south. We have to wait for the, God, thanks. Yeah, no problem. We'll have to just wait and see how this continues to play a role. I mean, the HERD model is a really good model. We'll have to just wait and see on this. This is probably one of the colder solutions, keeping it south of I-78. All right, so now I want to talk a little bit about the rates of the snowfall. I just showed you guys all the models. Now I want to show a little bit more about what I mean by 2 to 4 inches an hour. Well, where are you getting it? Where in the model data you're getting this? I'm going to be showing you this right now. So we're going to use the NAM, even though it's one of the warmer solutions, probably the warmest solution. It's probably a little over aggressive. I would go in the middle. Okay, usually in the middle does a pretty good job. That's why I like to look at current data right now and look at how the storm progresses. Is these models maybe having the ice line a little too south, a little bit too north? Where are we getting exactly all of this? Okay, once again, when we take a look at this here of the NAM, we're going to get it ready around here. So this is about 1 in the morning. Pretty much fits the suit of the radar. So that's good. So we have 2 millibar heights. So the darker the red, more of the precipitation is falling. Do not think these are the rates. These are not. This is the FGEN stands for frontal genesis in the northern atmosphere, okay? We're talking about up in the 700 millibar, 700 feet up in the air, almost 1,000 feet up in the air. And the darker the red, the better. 700, we also got 850. If they're both aggressively red, you're talking about 4 to maybe even 6 inches an hour. It has been seen before in winter storms. But in this thumping of snow here, look how we have a widespread, solid area of some moderate to heavy snow already developing by in the morning time. This is a really good look. We're already getting it out ahead of it. So the atmosphere, when this starts, it's going to quickly start to thump. I mean, you're going to have maybe about 30 minutes of light snow, and then you're going to really start seeing those rates pick up, and you can see many hours of it. Look how we go into 4 in the morning. Look how the colors start to begin to develop in the banding. You're talking about this is a good band right here. I mean, you cannot always picture perfect each band. The bands are going to continue to move. But look how some of these bands are developing, like back in here into the closer to the Ohio back in here. But you still got very steady 1 inch an hour rates in the darker reds. Some of these already starting to get maybe just a shy of above 1 inch. This is one model. But look how we go into 5 o'clock. You see how this right here, look at that. 5 o'clock, boom. Look how this band really starts to develop in southern Pennsylvania, okay? You start to talk about this is probably 1 inch to 1.5 inches an hour rates here. Okay, let's go 6 in the morning. Look how all of a sudden you're really starting to set it up in the 700 millibar. You're talking about pretty good banding in this winter storm. Look how all these are setting up right here. Boom. These are good rates. All right, and then look at this band. This is your real thumping that's going to be developing. You still got heavy banding across New England area. All right, this is about 6 in the morning. So when this snow starts, it's going to start probably pretty steady, all right? And then you're going to see those snowfall rates continue to pick up. When you go 6 in the morning, 6, 7, 8 in the morning, look how you really start to set it up here. You're talking about some pretty heavy snowfall rates. This is at least 1 inch an hour in this northern band here. This is about 2 to probably almost 2.5 inch hour rates, okay? These are a little bit of the rates about that. And then look how this band continues to set up. So the quicker this band set up, the quicker we get the frontal genesis, the heavier the rate. Look how we continue. Look at the dark reds here in the atmosphere by 9 o'clock. Look at this by 10 o'clock. Look how heavy it is coming down in all of New Jersey, New York, Long Island. And believe it or not, it's snow. It is snow right here. It's very heavy snow. So I do expect very heavy snow in the morning. All right. Very interesting stuff here. And then look how this band just continues to widen, strengthen. This is probably where you're talking about 3 to 4 inches an hour in this band. And the longer it stays snow, the heavier it is. You're talking about a few hours where you can have 3 to 6 hours of 3 inches an hour. So that's why I'm saying, even if you mix over, your main snow thump is going to already have fallen. So it's very hard to tell here. All right, so we're going to continue to keep this going. This is up in the lower atmosphere. So this is some pretty aggressive snowfall rates going into, and this continues to progress. I mean, look at that for New England. Whew. New England, you're talking about 4 to even 5 inches an hour in some spots, and it still holds pretty steady in many spots, okay? This is only one model. This is only one sector of the environment. That's why it's a lot. When you look at the 850, the 850 is very important too. Where does this set up? It's going to be a little bit different timing. Look at that at 6 in the morning, all right? But look how this sets up this band. Look how very heavy going to 4 o'clock when this band is really setting up. All right, so that's the nail model, okay? Let's take a look at some other models, all right? I don't want to look at the NAM 3 cam because it overdoes it sometimes. The R-Gem, okay, this is very important. I have not looked at this model. This model does really good sometimes, okay? This is a very good model. I have not looked at it. It's pretty good when it comes to mesoscale, the rates and stuff. But we have to just wait and see. So we talk about this is 11 o'clock. Fits pretty perfect. 12 a.m. You look at the radar. Pretty perfect here. This is by the radar. 1144, pretty close, about the same at that point. And then look how this really just sets up by 5 in the morning. 3 o'clock, it's going to start snowing. By 5, it's steady snow coming down, okay? This by 6, 8 o'clock in the morning, it's probably a little bit more delayed. It does believe it likes to make it a little bit heavier than the last run. But we do see those heavier snowfall. I mean, look at this, you guys. Like I said, that frontal genesis, it is really going to set up in this quarter right here. Look at that. Look how this purple right here really setting up with some dark. And this looks like to be streaming. So it's going to be not just like one band. You're going to have quite a few bands going over the same areas over and over. That's why you're going to get such a good amount of snow in just that little bit. Okay. And then we do see the snowfall continue to get to the north. And then we do see that mixing line. But, all right, perfect example here. Look at the mixing. This was last run. This is this run. A little bit different. What I'm noticing is you're talking about your lead way. You might get into a little bit more north. But look how what I'm noticing here. You don't be talking about a mixing issue over here, okay? It's because instead of this being more flat, what we're noticing is this nor'easter low off the coast is becoming a little bit more aggressive. So yes, you do see that mixing line, but now with this becoming a little bit more aggressive, that mixing line gets out of the way a little bit quicker. And that's what I'm noticing on the latest data. So it tells me coastal low develops a little bit quicker. We'll have to wait and see on the model data. And then you do see, I mean, look at that. It's a much further to the south here, even from New Jersey. So you could see in New Jersey, maybe you get some freezing rain for an hour or two. And then this quickly turns into snow. And look at that coastal. It's a little bit more push. So we have to just wait and see. This is all out by midnight, potentially, into tomorrow morning. Okay? The RGen model, this is 10-1 ratios. I wouldn't count it, but look at this, you guys. Look at the more aggressive that's showing up. Yes, this is some of the latest data, but if this is a little bit more aggressive with the banding and this pushes the ice to the south, we can quickly get back that 12 to 18 inches. I know there's been some maps that have lowered it. All right. All right, very important. Okay, so. All right, so I'm going to quickly get a water break as the models continue to show. And then I'm going to keep the radar showing with the satellite imagery. So I'm going to take a little break. We're entering that hour mark mode. All right, so let me quickly do that here, right here. And we're going to continue to show this. So let me get a water break and we'll be right back. I need to get mine. All right, so we are back here, and we are back. So we are back. Okay, end of story. We are back. We are back. All right, so we're watching this winter storm take place. We have a lot to talk about here, okay, my friends? We have a lot to talk about still. We're waiting. All right, we're going to refresh this. All right, so we're looking at the latest radar, looking very well of a snowstorm. Just give me a few minutes, you guys. I am doing some other stuff right now currently. All right, so we're going to be talking a little bit about this. All right, so let's see the model data here. Any questions that anyone has right now that I can answer, because it would be very lovely if I can answer some questions before we get some more live coverage. We are at 14 likes. Let's get 6 more likes. All right, very important. Let's get 6 more likes. That'll be awesome for the stream. Let's keep doing this. We're going to be live for the next couple hours, sir. We are holding strong here. All right, so let's get into some of the Twitter posts. Let's see what the latest thinking on Twitter is with the UK. So, wow, look at this one right here, the sleet and freezing rain. Sliding right there. Just happened on live TV there. A bus crashes into power pole. This is why we are telling people to stay off the roads are slick. Exactly. This was 1 hour ago. How is Brick, New Jersey Ethan has asked, how is Brick, New Jersey going to do on snow? So let me quickly, I've never actually heard of Brick, New Jersey. We're going to actually go right here. We're going to look at Brick, New Jersey. I'm going to go quickly find this, and then we're going to look at the exact location. So, okay, you're looking right along the coast. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Your chances are not looking great. I'm going to be really honest with you here. Your chances are not looking too good. You are right in that mixing. So you will start out with a thump of snow. I do think you will get a few accumulations, but it looks like it is potentially possible. I think potentially possible that you will have trouble of mixing. You will really trouble. You will actually change over to rain potentially. I think you will get a thump of snow, but with the latest data on how close that coastal will get, I mean, it looks like you can get potentially up to 8 inches of snowfall in that fleeting thump. That's how heavy it is. Even where you're going to change to rain, you're still going to have a thump of 8 to 10 inches of snow. And then you will have some freezing rain accumulations potentially, but it looks to me that you do change over to some rain towards the end of the storm here. So if you are in that part of New Jersey, in Brick, New Jersey, likely, let me put it in this way. Starts burst of snow 8 to 10 inches, change to sleet and freezing rain, then end plain rain. And then end plain rain. That's what it's looking like right now. Okay, and then freezing rain, and then boom. That's what it's looking like right now. 8 to 10, change to sleet, and then freezing rain, and then ends as plain rain. That's what it's looking like in your area currently. Anyone else has any questions? All right, okay, we got a new one. How is X's new county looking in Essex County, New Jersey? I did kind of just cover that not too long ago here. I think I actually have it here. Oh, maybe it's not. It's a different part of Essex County, New Jersey. Let's take a nice look here. And then we'll take okay, so Essex County, New Jersey. Okay, we have a lot of New Jersey people. It seems like a lot of people are sharing it in New Jersey. Thank you for all that. It looks like you will be on the northern side of this. You will be closer to New York. You will get a heavier thumping of snow. I like to use her. It's a really good model. It looks like you can get up to a foot of snow, maybe even up to 12 to 14 inches. And then you will change over to maybe some sleet and then end as some freezing rain. If a little bit more south, maybe you end up with more like that 15 to 18 inches. That's her model. The rat model likes to show this solution where you might never eat. Like this is a much colder solution where you end as maybe some freezing rain, but 90% of the storm, you stay snow, and you end up with closer now to 15 inches of snow. You see what I mean? The difference is the NAM is the warmest. It likes to keep you more like the 6 to 8 inch. I do not agree with the NAM. That's why I'm going to wait for some of the data and all that. Your GFS is a little bit different, though. It likes that a little warmer. It's coming down a little bit, more like 6 inches to 8 inches. We're going to have to watch out with some of that. It is a global model, though. So I'm not too much. And then your Euro really pops it off here with this winter storm. Still, you're still talking about with the European model over here up to 18 inches. And then your SS maybe up to 13 to 15 inches. So much better for snow potential. So starts with snow and then change over to sleet, then freezing rain. All right, that's what it's looking like for you. Let me... And then change, it starts with snow, and then change to over to sleet, and then freezing rain, and then freezing rain. I would say probably, it's a tough call right there. I would say 10 to 15 inches. 15 inches. I think you're going to end up with the higher. I say 10 to 15 inches. That is your forecast right now looking there. Any other questions? We are at 14 likes. I know we have 7 people here. I know we are not doing the best, but we are getting some of the questions. And I know we've been having in and out people. So if you have any more questions, New Jersey, PA, southern areas, yes, no problem. Please like, please subscribe. Let's get up to, let's keep adding subscribers. It would be very lovely. So I really appreciate it. Anyone that is looking forward to the streaming tonight, we already been live for over an hour. We are now at 1,333. Let's get up to 1,300 and 340 subscribers. So let's get 8 more new subscribers. So let's get new goal 10 subs also. So new goal 10 subs and 20 likes. Okay, let's do that. We'll work on that goal here. We are doing great. Yeah, no problem. No problem. I hope you really enjoy that. I was looking at some of the model data. We are waiting on the 0Z herd. That is actually about to start coming out here in the next coming hours or two. We're going to keep an eye on it because that's going to be very important. Look at the snowstorm just developing very nicely here in the regions. 10 subs and 20 likes. So let's keep doing that, everybody. Thank you for the $10 donation. Really appreciate it from earlier. I do actually have you guys in that 10 to 15, and then I think just south of 6 to 10. So I think that's a good forecast there in the New Jersey area. And then, okay, this slammer of a band. Look at this, you guys. Look at this band of very heavy snow. All right, so, okay, I live in Plainfield, New Jersey. What is the chances we stay all snow? Okay, so we're going to look at Plainfield, New Jersey here. We're going to take a look at New Jersey again. All right, let's take a look at here in New Jersey, and let's take a lovely look. So, you are talking about Plainfield, New Jersey. So, you're talking about more to the southern region. Okay. So, Plainfield, New Jersey, your chances are not the highest to stay all, to be honest with you. Oh, I'm surprised that Weather Kingdom isn't checking the power outages. I would check that in a few. I will, no problem. Let's take a look here then. Let's take a look. So, this is the latest HER with the 23Z. Look how that's coming in. Let's take a look at 18Z. Yeah, see, from 18Z to 23Z, the ice line's a little bit more south. So I do expect the 0Z model data to trend a little bit more south and probably heavier on the power, heavier on the totals. Okay, very important stuff right there. Look at this. So if you are in, I want to take a look at the exact location, Plainfield. So you're talking about right in here, maybe even closer to the coast. You do start out with that thump of snow, but you do have trouble with changing over to that freezing rain. But if that's a little bit more south in the 0Z model run, we could see you now changing more of a snow event. So it is going to be really close. I think your chances are increasing in the last couple hours for you to stay all snow, but I do think eventually you will end up some freezing drizzle, freezing rain. So just keep that in mind. Her model, once again, it's very high up there. And then the R-Gem is probably the best chance where you stay all snow, but you probably will mix over at one point of the storm. So I really don't really see that happening here. So I would say about a 70%. Okay, I would say a solid 70% here. Let's look for the 70%. Okay, I'm in the northeast of Florida, but I'm jealous of everyone that's getting the snow. I haven't seen snow in years. Gulf Coast gets stuck with severe side this time. Yes, that sucks. All right, that really sucks. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. I am gradually going through the stream tonight. We're just gradually going. We're at 17 likes, you guys. We are 3 away from our goal. Also, we got about 10 viewers. Not bad. Pretty steady. Pretty clean. Let's keep an eye on this. Very important. And then, it is some very interesting data. You see how the 23Z, look how much less it is. Look, 23Z compared to 18Z. And then look at 23Z. It's a little bit. Wait. Yeah, see 18Z, 23Z. It's a little bit less, and it's with that progress motion here. So that's probably a little bit interesting. Your temperature is probably a little bit colder too. When we take a look at 18Z. And then, yeah, it's hard to tell with that. Any more questions? Any more questions?
Listen to this shit, bro.
Okay, so any more questions as of right now? We are waiting on her model to come out. We actually should have the 18Z here. Okay, we got some new news. New 18Z, new 18Z, ECMWF. Stay tuned. Let's go, everybody. Let's go. We're about to see the latest Euro model. I want to see if it's more south. We might be in business for the snowstorm lovers. Let's go. I think we'll have a better chance of snow if the low pressure system stays a little bit farther off the shoreline. Yes, and stronger. Yes, or stronger. Yes, or stronger. To pull. Or stronger. Check power outages. Yes, I will. Okay, so let's go into power outages. Power outages. Power outages. Aw, damn it. Okay, this works too, I think. Nope, I don't like this one. No. PPL. I don't even know what I use. Okay, so this is a good one. There is 50,000 customers and then 55,000 in Louisiana so far. There's about 2,000. So when we take a look at Texas, you do have some power outages and Culberson. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your county. In Texas, about 248. Over here is about 95. But as you get into the border here, you're talking about a few thousands in this cluster. This probably with freezing rain, people driving into the poles most likely, causing that power outages, and then into the northern areas in those regions. And then when you take a look at Louisiana, look at this, you guys. 9,000 is out of power in DeSoto County, Red River County in New Orleans. 859. I do expect these to continue to go up throughout tonight. 1,568 in Benville. And then Jackson County, 1,300. 31,000 out here. We got a few others, about 1,000. And then right here, you got about 1,000. So really important with the power outages. I do expect these to continue. And where these power outages are setting up right now is a bit on the worried side. All right, any more areas where the power outages are currently taking place here? I mean, look at this. You're talking about right here in the freezing rain. Boom. This is where your freezing rain is, right in this area. And look at that, right in this area. I'd see right in this area is where your freezing rain is really starting to stack up. The 18-0 looks a little colder. Yeah, we'll take a look at that in just a second. So as this freezing rain continues to build back in Texas and stuff, yeah, you know it's been building in because when you look at 6 o'clock, look at all this freezing rain. It's just beginning in the Louisiana area. And look at this by 2 in the morning. Look at that. By 1:46 in the morning, you're now starting to get snow into Baltimore, Harrisburg. Some of the steadier snows really starting to fight itself in that freezing rain. Just continues to dominate in the area. So I do expect power outages to continue to go up. And then the latest 18Z Euro. Let's take a look at that here. I like to take a look. We're doing pretty good. So let's see our goal sets here. We're at 1,333. Hopefully we get a little bit more. And then the Euro 18Z, let's see. This is about 4 a.m. Probably a little bit heavier. It's a little bit more pushed back. Not surprised. I think it's catching up from the 12Z. Look at the banding. That's what I'm saying, you guys. Either way, look at the banding that's setting up here on the Euro model. It keeps getting more and more aggressive early on. The quicker this deformation band can develop, the quicker the potential rates can go up even further into the heart of the areas. And then, look at this. Boom. You look at the last couple runs. You see how in the last couple runs it has been less? Look how it's growing the band quicker. So, and then if you look at this, the freezing rain is probably a little bit colder. Yeah, it's a little bit colder. And then look at that. Your deformation band really sets up there. The freezing rain is actually a little bit farther. So, one thing I'm noticing is you're seeing here your freezing rain trying to make it up into Delmarva around 1 p.m. Some of the models have it way farther north at this current time. And then this is now being pushed back a little bit quicker. So it does not, this low strengthening right here actually will help to bring in that colder air here. So the quicker this low pressure off the coastal areas get, the more likely you will stay snow. And then when you take a look at this, oh, yep, look at the 18Z. It's pushed a little bit. The low is see how the low, you see how the low is actually a little bit probably closer to the coast? But look what's happening here. You're seeing your low pressure cranked up a little bit more. So now, yes, you're bringing in all this, but you're also bringing in these winds out of the north. So it's keeping your ice line down into here. And the Euro model says, hold a minute. Your 0Z model data is going to come in a little bit colder. This is by 4 o'clock. And then look at this, you guys. Even though the storm gets a little stronger, you're still talking about the same. I mean, I do not count that rain. That's probably more snow. But look, you're talking about a little bit more back-end snow too. And probably a little bit heavier snow. So you did ask how much Dayton, Ohio is going to see. So Dayton, Ohio, 1 second. We're going to look at Dayton, Ohio. We're going to look at that area here. We're going to take a look at the Euro model too. Why not, for the fun of it? Dayton, Ohio. Okay, you're talking this side. All right. So you're talking about, let's go into Cincinnati's out there. We're going to go about here, I would say. About here in Dayton, Ohio. You do see your snow continue. You will stay all snow, but it does look like some of your banding will be a little bit further south. So your heaviest totals, maybe a little bit. And then, actually, let me delete that. Your Dayton, Ohio is around here. And then look at this, you guys. You will stay snow with the Euro model, and then boom, like that. So you stay all snow. Let's take a look at some of the other model data. It's going to be very important also. So Dayton, Ohio, when we're taking a look at your precipitation accumulations, you're probably around here. Look at that. You stay all snow. Even some of your heavier bands on the NAM gets it there. Some gusty winds. And believe it or not, your total snow looks pretty promising in Dayton, Ohio. Maybe the bullseye out of the NAM. Up to 18 to even 20 inches, I will not be surprised of. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. And by the way, you guys, we got 0Z coming out. We got some new data coming out. This is about to be awesome. And then look at her model says up to maybe 18 inches. So if you're in Dayton, Ohio, 18 potential inches. All snow, and I would say 15 plus. 15 plus for your snowfall. All snow 15 plus in Dayton, Ohio. So that's pretty nice. Let's take a look at some of the Twitter posts this year. I know we got some Twitter slammer of a band. We already know about that. I want to look at the latest 18Z because I know we got some 18Z data here besides all this. Yeah, look at that. The king of models that everyone thinks it is here, 18Z Euro, brings now 13 inches. Euro was locked 3 days ago. Wobbled but fall like it did last weekend. So, I mean, look at this. This is the latest European model. And you talk about potentially 20 inches up here. I mean, it's coming a little bit colder. And this is why I'm saying keep an eye on the trends. Because if the trends bring the mixing line a little bit more south, you're looking at almost 20 inches of snow potentially into the heart of the area. Allentown, 17.6. You know, down in Philly, even up to a foot of snow. I mean, yeah, maybe not as much in there, but latest models are coming in a little bit more aggressive, even on the snow, up to maybe 2 feet on the northern side of this. So I'm not trying to overflex it here. Just watch the model trends. I know I've lowered my totals a little bit, but if trends continue, I might actually have to go back on those totals. I don't want to keep doing that, but we'll have to wait for 0Z. You know, the storm, likes to change. We cannot always just think it's just going to do what it's going to do. Okay, so keep that in mind. What about Keaton? Okay, we are north of Atlanta. Are we still going to see the ice, or will it be cold rain? That's a really good question. All right. So, okay, I'm gonna look for exact location. Just give me a hot minute. I'm getting your exact location, and then I'm gonna look in your exact area here. All right. Oh, you're really north. Okay. So first off, we're gonna actually go to weather-wise. You know, I completely forgot to look at some of the alerts for you guys. What they're expecting also. We're gonna do that now on too. Look at your exact little area. You are in Caton, right? So Caton, you're under ice storm warning. All right. I just want to say ice storm warning for Caton. Ice storm warning. That means over and half an inch of ice, everybody. Keep this in mind. Ice storm warning for you. Okay? Let me read this for your area. Significant ice expected. Total accumulations between 1/4 of an inch and 1 inch of ice. What really makes this bad is winds are going to be gusting up to 40. So catastrophic ice. All right, this is in Caton, Georgia. Devastating. Major. 1 inch of ice. You will lose power with your ice area. I would recommend you to charge your phone and hunker down because you are under a major ice storm warning. Okay, we're going to look at some of your model data. I'm really worried about it. Just get ready. Some of your data here. Look at this, you. Look at this. You start out here. Look at this freezing rain. Look how it just builds in northern. You might say all freezing rain. You need to watch out for that. Look at your freezing rain here. The latest NAM is a little bit less. You talk about a little bit more sleet. So maybe you have a saving grace on that. I do not buy that. But look at your HER model. The HER model says you are getting about 3/10 of an inch, almost an inch of ice. And let's see the winds here too, the wind gust. You're talking about some winds, some gusty winds along the mountains, across these areas here too. So keep that in mind. All right. Anyone else? We're waiting on the HER model to come out quickly. That we can get the latest HER model. Any more questions? Also, we are getting closer, you guys. We are almost at 20 likes. Let's see the latest goal. We actually hit 20 likes. Congrats, we hit the goal. Congrats. 20 likes. And the 10 subscribers. Congrats, 20 likes, new goals, 30 likes, everybody. Start liking. So if any questions, feel free. Any questions about your area answering, let me know. All right. We got the brand new HER model coming out in just a few minutes, so get ready for that. But Euro comes in really nasty here. Really nasty. Not good. I'm very interested on that right there. All right. It is 0 degrees in my area. That is cold. Wow. Any more questions? How much in New York City? All right. This is the million. All right. I think New York you will. Oh, this is going to be a tough one for you in New York. You're at 10 hours. Let's look at 10 hours from now. Oh, yeah. Let's take a look at 18Z. You're a little bit ahead, that's why. It's going to be a tough one. I really want to wait for the her model. The latest her model has some fresh data, but we're going to use the 18Z and then we'll go back to the 0Z. New York says your total snow accumulations could be still up to a foot. I do believe, even some spots here on the Her stays up to, I would say personally, 6 to 10. Yeah, no, I'll say 8 to 12. 8 to 12 snow and inch and sleet. You might get some freezing rain in your area. I don't want to just count on it. We're going to have to wait for the 0Z Her for this. I'm very interested on the latest Her. We're at 11 hours out. We'll have to wait and see on that. According to future radar that I'm looking at, you do change over to some sleet and stuff around too. All right, so I'm going to get a water break, so give me 1 second. Snack break also. Snack break, be back in 10. All right, so let's go in here. All right, 1 moment. Devin, Devin, do you have any like snowsuit like for outside and stuff? Why? Because we're just asking, you know? You don't have like the snow pants or anything? Why you asking me? No, for you. So when I did. I need to go straight. All right, we are back here. We are back. I am back. Okay. I am back. How much snow for Falls River? So, I am back, everybody. I am sorry about the wait. Oh, I left you guys on this screen. I feel bad. I'm really sorry. All right. Sorry about that. We are going to be cooking here 22 likes. So 8 likes away from 30. And let's see here. We are back here. I'm sorry about the wait. I really did not mean it to take that long. I just had to take a good break. We should have a lot more stuff for that. So give me 1 second. All right, 30 minutes and... All right, let's get new that. We've been live for 2 hours. We're gonna quickly take a look at the latest. Okay, we got some new data here. This is the latest herd, you guys. Look at this coastal low. This is probably about tomorrow mid-morning on the latest NAM model. This coastal is a little bit stronger. This has been trending on the latest model. And then I want you guys to take a real look at this. Look at 18Z and then compare the next run. The ice line is a little bit more south. And now look at this. I mean, yeah, we are talking about the 18Z. Look at 18Z all the way up there. But I want you to take a look at 0Z. It's showing a few more hours of snow and potentially actually staying now south. The latest model has now moved significantly to the south here of the ice line. And believe it or not, it does not actually bring now your ice accumulations too much farther up. If anything, you get some freezing rain towards the end of the storm, and then that's the deal. So your freezing rain accumulations, though, is quietly up there. I mean, from 18Z to 0Z, it has shrunk a little bit in your Y, but look at the total snow now. I mean, this is pretty impressive snowfall from the 18Z to the new run. You're now potentially, talking about 18 to 19 inches on the northern part. I mean, some of the latest HER model are getting awfully close to 2 feet. And your winds, too, in the middle of this is going to be quite gusty. You're going to be talking about some gusty winds in this. You're going to be talking about some blowing snow, some wind-driven. But that is a bit interesting that the latest model here now really almost just gives the entire area, keeping that snow line a little bit more south and bringing a little bit more snow. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. I know we got the NAM model now coming out too with the latest hours here. So that's going to be very important. Something to take a look at. I mean, look at this, you guys. Believe it or not, the latest NAM model has from the 12Z to it has pretty much come from 18Z, being that far north, back to the south even further, and then the 12Z even further. So we have come a long way. It does look like we will stay snow now for quite a few more hours. Take this with a grain of salt. We do got a lot of other model data coming, but I am telling you, I think some of the latest model data you're going to be a little happy with when you're taking a look at this. I mean, look, you're looking at your snow beginning around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then your heavier snows through the 1 o'clock. But look at this, you guys. I mean, you now never even mix down here. You stay all snow in New Jersey now. So the latest model is coming out with some impressive snowfall totals. You're talking about more of a ramped up system. You're talking about some gusty winds. And look at that. You're talking about a much stronger scenario here where you're talking about much more banding. And now you're talking about your snowfall. I mean, when you're taking a look at the snowfall compared to the 18Z, we have come up and further south. So that's a really good sign with the Her model. And I'm really not surprised about this, in my opinion. So that's very impressive stuff right there. Okay, I'm going to quickly share this right into Twitter. Let me just quickly do that. Alright, nice to hear that. I'm quickly taking a look at some of this. There was a good tweet of that bomb of Genesis. I'm really looking forward for this storm, you guys. I mean, I want to look at some of this. Let's look at some surface-based cape. Let's look at most unstable cape and shear. Ooh, you got some cape in the atmosphere. Hail swath, updraft. Very, like in lightning density. Wow, and some of those heavier bands. That's actually really good, you guys. The latest Her, if you're a snow lover, the latest Her gives you a... How is Charleston, Indiana looking? When is the heaviest looking to arrive? That's a very good. So Charleston, Indiana. We're going to take a quick look at that. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to look at your exact location, and then we're going to take a look at the map here. So Charleston is... Okay, you are looking over here. So let me go into... yeah, I'm going to need this one. We're looking at Indiana. So we're looking a little bit up here. You are going to be getting some good snow and some potentially ice. Nah, you're getting all snow out of the 0Z. That's lovely. So you are in about this region here. You're about in this region here. I want you guys to really watch this. Look at your snow. You are in that snow right now. I would say your heaviest is going to be later tonight into early tomorrow morning. And your latest snowfall is pretty impressive. To be continued, another 15 inches out of the Her model, you guys. That's pretty impressive. Another 15 potential inches out of the Her model, out of your Charleston, Indiana. Freezing rain to the south. So that's not too bad. Timing-wise, let me take a look here. We're going to look at that. So, like we said, you're about here. Let me come into here. Your heaviest will probably be early tomorrow morning. Anywhere from midnight to about probably 8 in the morning. And then you should start to lighten up a little bit. So, probably very early in the morning into about 8 o'clock in the morning, I expect your heaviest. So, I'm going to write that. So probably 12 a.m. tonight to, I'll say 9 a.m. tomorrow. Alright, we're going to do it like that. Another 10 to, I would say 10 to 15 inches, potentially. Inches in your area. You think thunder snow is possible as well? I do think so. I do believe in Northeast. I do believe in Northeast here. That's actually really good. The Her model likes to keep everything more south. All right, so if you guys are coming into the channel, please like. Our goal is to 30 likes. We are at 22 likes. So if you guys are interested in the weather, we are currently taking a look at certain areas and areas to watch right now. So keep that in mind. We're watching the latest model data. FV3 is coming out. If you guys just was tuning in here a few minutes ago, we are watching the latest HER has come in a bit more snowier now. You know, up in Massachusetts, you could be talking about maybe 20 to now 25 inches of snow potentially. I've seen some cases that thunder snow is maybe possible as here as well. Okay. That's awesome. It's a very cool phenomenon. I really wonder how I can look for that here of the convection. It's probably in convection somewhere in here. Temperatures also colder. Your wind gusts, you're going to have some 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gust on her. I can't lie with you tomorrow. You're going to have some mountain snow too. You know, you're talking about 25 knots. You're talking about 30 mile an hour winds potentially here off the HER model. Very dangerous. And then those winds whip the next day. So a lot of blowing snow in your system. Keep that in mind. Latest NAM. Looking good. So from the 18Z to the latest run, it's actually a little bit further north in the latest run. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It's a little south than the 12Z, so that's good. It's a little bit more south. I want to see how the frames continue to come in. Your total snow, I mean, look at this. When you start that snow, you're going to get some intense accumulations here. I mean, look at this. You're going to get some intense accumulations of snow. That's something for sure. All right, I'll be back in 1 second. Alright, I'm back. I'm sorry, Weather Kingdom. We are back. Alright, we are back here. So this is the latest NAM. Oh, I'm not liking this here. We're really starting to get this pressure stronger. 8. Alright, breaking news, everybody. I'm back. All models are going south. All models are going south. Look at this, you guys. I am very concerned about this. Look at the coastal load developing. Now we're starting to see in the latest runs of the HER model, the RAP model, all the models. Now we're pushing this sleet and ice line further to the south. But look at these close isobars. You're going to be talking about some gusty winds. Look at this. This is from 6Z. This is from 12Z. It rised. And look at 18Z. It lowered. 0Z. Now it's even lower. And then look at this. We still get the freezing rain and sleet accumulations up there. But look at this. From 18Z to the latest run, it's a little bit more south. It's bringing a little bit more snow. How do I know it's bringing more snow? Look at the 18Z. 18Z had it this much. 0Z now bringing it a little further to the south. So that's an awesome sign if you're a snow lover. Also, your 0Z, look at this. There's going to be some strong winds. I'm not going to lie with you guys. Some of the winds here are going to get gusty. I mean, you're talking about your coastal, you're going to have some easterly winds up to 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. Comparing to the last run to this run, it's trending a little bit stronger of the winds. You're going to have to keep that in mind. More of a whiteout condition, even blizzard conditions in spots. When we take a look at this here, look at this. So the Herm, the Euro, and the RGM all stays mixed, barely gets above New York City. The NAM and the RF have it way north. So see, this is the Her model. It doesn't go anything farther. And this is the Her model here, 15 plus inches. I think the Her is onto something. I think that's staying. Rapid ice accumulation with freezing rain. Snow mixed west of Memphis. Look at this. Rapid freezing rain accumulations there. This is all right. Thunder snow has been reported. You guys, thunder snow. Has been reported. This is in Twitter, the news. Thunder snow has been reported. Also about 2 inches in back here. Look at the conditions here of the snow. These are the rates. This is the type of snow we're going to be talking about. Very wind-driven snow. Low visibility in spots. So, some pretty crazy stuff here. Look at this. Ice starting to glaze on the trees in Myrtle, Mississippi. Beginning conditions going downhill tonight. This guy already said that. So, some interesting stuff here taking place on the latest 0Z. Trends have been to the south. The Her colder with bringing 13 to 14 inches in the metro area, while 15 to 16 inches in the Lehigh Valley in my area. Also, New Jersey up to like a foot plus potentially. So that's pretty good. Thumping snow in Springfield, Missouri. Sped up about 10, but coming down decently. We do talk about this is a good guy. He is saying 12 to 18 inches in your B to C. He said heavy snow mixes to change the sleet plus sleet is about 10 to 14 inches locally higher. He's circling the locally higher amounts are possible because of the latest trends. So keep that in mind. I'm showing you guys some other people's tweets and stuff. That it's not just me showing you. This range, when the Her becomes more reliable, will cut off be exact where. I doubt it, but if the Her closes to being right, it will be surprising tomorrow, especially in the southeastern PA. For anyone forecasted to turn to sleet in the Mid-Atlantic, it's important to note that the entire I-95 corridor and DC on northward never gets above freezing, with the vast majority of locations never getting out of the 20s for the entire storm. The air aloft, that's coming to prevent all of the snow in some of these places. All right, so we're continuing. So can we see maybe a foot in snow in Western Long Island? Okay, let me show you this. This is the latest NAM 3 cam here. This is Long Island. The NAM 3 cam sees about 11 inches. So you are really close. But look at the last NAM, the 18Z to the 0Z. It's a little bit more south. Okay, I want you guys to really look at this. Look at this. You're now bringing some of your 12 inches all the way down here. You're talking about, 12, 13 inches in Long Island. This trend has been a little bit better. Look, 18Z to 0Z. A little bit better. Your NAM, your main NAM here. Look at this. 18Z, 12Z. Look how much different it is. 12Z to 0Z, you're a little bit more south. The chances are going up again. That's what I'll say. Her model likes 14 inches all in Long Island. Chances going up, though, I would say. So, chances here going up is a big one here, okay? Your wrap model, this is going to be the 0Z data that's coming in here. Likes the idea of that thumping snow. This is your freezing rain line. 21Z was a little bit more south. 18Z was a little bit more. It's a little bit more north on the 0Z with here. We'll have to keep an eye on that. The FV3 that is coming out currently right now is coming in, okay. So it likes that band of snow. This is about 2 o'clock. Brings that freezing rain line a little bit more north. Look at that. I mean, I'm not surprised about that. Chances are going up. That's what I would like to state on that department. Look at some of these bandings here. So with the NAM being a little bit more aggressive and see how it's a little bit more, look, a little bit more snow. It's a little bit more snow there. Snowing a little bit longer, but look at this, you guys, 700 millibar. Look at this. This is for your 9 in the morning. Look at that snow. You're going to have some pretty good snow coming down throughout the hours here. If you guys are new to the channel, please like, please subscribe. But look at your 850. You're talking about some of that heavy snow coming into tonight. Tomorrow, like 6 p.m. Some very heavy snow on the last band. So, NAM versus the her fight. Exactly. The NAM versus the her fight. NAM trending and caving, though. Alright, NAM is trending and caving now. So, I don't know. The velocities, you're going to be talking about some crazy rates. 2 to 4 inches an hour, most likely with your rates. Out of the bands. And stronger winds are looking more likely too. So keep that in mind. We're still watching that. And then see, now it ends with some snow. Potentially your freezing rain accumulations. I want you guys to look at that. 18Z, 0Z, a little bit more north. Alright. A little bit. Look at that. Boom. A lot more wind, too. So keep that in mind. The peak snow rates looks to be between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. on those who stay all snow. Some spots will hit 2 to 3 inches per hour for periods of time. Look at this. You're going to be talking about some pretty intense rates even into New Jersey here. I mean, look at this. You're going to be talking about, 1 to even 3 inches an hour where you stay all snow and where that ice line makes up. So that's going to be very important. And that band continues to go on. How are the models looking to compare to the radar pretty much? So when you take a look at the HER model and go on to the US and take a look at this current hour, this is about 9 o'clock. It says this. This is the latest refresh here on the HER. And believe it or not, look at this. You're starting to get into a little bit of deformationing bands developing. We're starting to snow in Virginia. I know that for sure. But look at this. It's a lot less sleet and more snow. This is why I think the trending colder. You see how there's snow in Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, and north of Arkansas? I want you to take a look at your radar. You still got it, but it's less, especially in the Oklahoma region. There's less snow. This is by 3 in the morning. About 3:05 in the morning. It says your snow starts making its way in. Right through here. By 3 in the morning. So that's going to be very interesting. Look at that snow, though. That's going to be some very, very intense snow. And stuff like that. So, more power outages continuing to show. Your New Jersey's at Texas has one down. these other areas are going up. So keep that in mind. That's some intense stuff right there. Hard to believe that this storm will be the size Sunday morning. Second push that comes in. What a beast of a storm, exactly. Very intense. So I do want to say, this was 56 minutes ago. This is what I'm talking about, the deformation. A death band starts getting going near DC early tomorrow morning in early stages of slowly moving northeast. Gains organized, and further northeast it goes. It will be at its peak in the time from the south northeast timing this evening. Fully expecting 1 to 3 to 2 to 4 inches hour rates out of this band, and the potential for thunder snow. As we mentioned on the stream, New England could hit 5+ an hour. Isn't out of the question. Here's considering the temps throughout the column surface at the time hard, especially forecast until it happens. 850 Gen takes over after, I think, will play part to dynamic cooling and persisting snowfall rates. So slowly will be the key to see how much snow possible in the ceiling in the south north New England area will get. Okay. Snow growth from the frontal genesis will take over, not be as good. Hard to match but heavier snow, still heavier snow. When the surface temperature is cold, it will still keep stacking. So 2 to 4 inches an hour, that is the band. They're really now starting to talk about some of the banding features. That's going to be very important as we continue to go. So look, this is actually some comparison an hour. Whoa, check this out. These radar loops from tonight, we're seeing everything from snow in Texas across the mid-Atlantic and down into the southeast, like winter weather triple threat. Snow on top of sleet, ice in the middle, and rain. Other air. Heads up. Though the tail ends of the snow and bringing severe weather threat to the Gulf Coast and Panhandle over, keeping an eye on the forecast or watches and warnings. That's going to be another very important thing. We really need to get rid of the her because it's saying more snow. See? So the latest analysis is more snow than freezing rain and stuff. So that means the NAM is probably overdoing it. This is the art. Oh my, look at that. The R gem. 2 to 4 inches an hour is looking really likely. Not too far. This was another tweet. We're going to keep looking at some of these tweets here. I have a gut feeling that it overperforms near New York. Could be. Not too far from the start of the 700 millibar field moves in. Critical thickness are still well south, but you can see them pointing northwestern into Tennessee. So that's really important there. So, yeah, see, 2 to 3 inches an hour rates are showing too. This is not just me. We're moving along. Couple fractured systems. Wow, that's a lot. So look, searching for trends. RFs and NAMs have moved south with the sleet in line getting closer to the HER, which has been fairly consistent from 18 to 12Z shown in. And now the 0Z is more south. So, HER puts up a fight against the Rhode Island line, too. Keep that in mind. Look at this, you guys. An hour. This is views from Tennessee here. A complete ice storm is in place here. Some significant ice accumulations are looking really likely. All right, any more questions? Because I will be ending the stream in the next coming hour or so. I do have to get ready. Our snow approaches secondary between or large air. Look at that. Boom. So this is another one from the PA Weather Plus. I am keeping an eye out for 2 areas of experience. Heavy snowfall rates, 1 to 2 inches per hour. Sunday moving through the afternoon hours. The first maximum will be across southwestern Pennsylvania, associated with the primary low and a secondary larger. They do say very strong frontal genesis. The eastern PA snow bands may even produce brief rates over 2 inches an hour. These heavy snowfall rates will cause low visibility and treacherous travel. Temperatures in the single digits to the teens will allow roadways to interstate become snow-covered and snow-packed. Do not travel unless you are in an emergency or work purposes. It's not worth putting your life at danger. We already know that. Look at that. 1 to 2 inches an hour, potentially even more right there. This is why I'm saying we're going to have to watch out with these bands. Yeah, look at this. Vinicius, 39 minutes ago. This is with the NAM model, the HER model. Look, snowfall even more aggressive. So the continuance of the changes are getting more likely. Look at all the accidents already was result in thunder sleet. There's a lot of thunder in the storm, a lot of thunder snow, a lot of thunder sleet. So keep that in mind. Yeah, no, the radar is filling in here. Now we're starting to wake up with some of the sleet and stuff. We're going to have to keep an eye on the snow here. All right, very good tweet. 1 minute ago, the RGM model displayed perfectly how I think the storm revolves. I agree with this one too, where they think the NAM is playing catch up, the cold air is in place, the real deal. Tomorrow is going to be fun for the snow lovers. I agree. I know there was snowfall. I forgot about that. So look at this. New York, due to sleet arrival being delayed, going to be really interesting to see how far this sleet gets tomorrow. Keep that in mind. That's really important right there. I'm not the only one saying this. Look at that, you guys. A glazing over the traffic lights. There is literally holy thunder sleet. Look at this, you guys. We are having thunder sleet in spots. Oh, wow. Look at this, you guys. Even if the roads seem okay, there's plenty of ice out there. There's too much for the bamboo along this tree right here. Some of the bamboo and the life. Look at that. ice starting to make impacts on the trees and stuff. So keep that in mind. Let me show you the FE3. That's a nice storm right there. Even some bands going to Monday morning potentially. That's beautiful. Ending off with some snow. It's gonna suck.
The storm was coming, but golly, man, y'all done took all the bread. I can't even make no peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Look, I know they said a storm was coming.
All right, you guys. I'm going to be back in a few minutes. Okay, I am back. Wait, never mind. Thailand looks amazing. I have a feeling. What model do you trust the most right now? All right, you guys. I've been going for 3 hours. I think I'm going to be ending the stream in a few minutes. I'm pretty tired. Coffee. How are you doing? How are you doing? I saw the current Euro model overperforming a little bit. I don't think it is, actually. I think it's possible with the Euro model, in my opinion. I just been looking at some of the data and stuff. Welcome back. What's a good website to use for late radar? Weather Omega is a good one. Scope is a really good one. Weatherwise is a good one. Any idea how it's going in PA? You need something for your throat. No, I'm just really tired. I have to, wake up very early in the morning. I have to get ready. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I won't be able to. I'll be actually working out in these conditions. So that's probably why I'm actually going to be ending the stream also. Weather-wise or everything else. Both free. Yeah, that's a good one too. I've been looking at the models all day. We've been looking at the Euro. The models have uptrended. If you have not looked at this, I mean, the HER's been doing awesome today. But the HER's been showing in the latest run its best run yet. And the NAM models it has been trending in the last 3 runs. Look at this, you guys. 17, 18 inches. This is the possibility if the trends keep going. Latest wrap model is absolutely a nuke. Latest NAM has trended better from the 12Z. Has trended a lot back to some of the HER models. So working in the conditions like what shoveling. Yes, I'm going to be working in it. Shoveling, plowing with a lot of other people. A lot of work, you guys. Truly a lot. Texas is back out with 55,000 outages. 63 in Louisiana. We're getting closer now into Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas also. Oklahoma, not too much. We're doing all right down there. Say it's about 3:30. It should start. I think it's going to happen a little bit earlier. With the latest future radar, it's looking like it's going to happen a little bit earlier around there. So that's going to be awesome. I wanted to wait for the RGEM, but RGEM takes forever. I mean, when I mean forever, RGEM just... I can't wait. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, a lot of the models are coming down too. Yeah, look at some of the latest here. We can have thunder sleet and thunder snow, very likely. Look at that beauty. Just a beauty of a storm. Let me show you some of the Courage snowfall totals out of this. This is one of the models here. A little bit less because that's sleet, but you still got to a foot. This is the Arphis A. I wonder if it's the RDPS. Nah. Pretty interesting. Icon's coming into view, but I'm not going to stay here for the Icon or GFS. I don't want to keep myself awake. I'm kind of wanting to fall asleep as soon as possible. Probably for the best.